Welcome to Balance Black Girl. My name is Les. I'm your host. I appreciate you tapping in. So every month on the podcast, we have a different theme where we cover a central topic from different angles. We just wrapped up our Leveling Up and Busting Through Plateaus series, and a lot of you really loved those episodes last month, which makes me so happy. And that series is really designed to grow with you. So if you ever feel stuck or like you're in a rut or you're just kind of going through it and you're trying to up level, go back to that series, go back to those episodes. They're really designed to be there for you whenever you need them. And now that we're in May, we're kicking off Mindset May. So we're talking all about expanding our minds, changing our thoughts, taking care of our brain health. And I am really excited to be rejoined by two amazing guests today. So welcome back, Erica and Milah from Good Moms, Bad Choices. I'm so happy to have you back.
Hey, boo. Thanks for having us back.
Hi, friend. Hi, tribe. Hi.
Yes, so happy. Last time you were here, it was like exactly 1 year ago, I think. And a lot has happened for y'all in the past year.
So much has happened for all of us, I think.
Right.
I think it's been like such an amazing 365 almost days of transformation, and just like even us connecting on a different level too, with you coming to our retreat and everything. So.
Yes, we're going to talk about that for sure. We're definitely going to talk about that. What I'm excited to get into with y'all, like I said, it's Mindset May. I consider you two to be such amazing expanders and just like master manifestors. But I know that that doesn't just spontaneously happen, that there's a lot that goes into that. And I could imagine that being where you are now, especially with all that's happened in the past year of like a national tour, publishing a book, sold out retreats all over the world, having your own podcast studio, which we're in right now. There's a lot that goes into that. And there's a lot of expansion that I'm sure you had to do to get there. So I'd love to talk a little bit more about that.
Let's get into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm ready.
You're ready. So in terms of really being ready to receive the manifestations that you have coming in, can we talk a little bit more about what that work has looked like? Not just the obviously work to do the things, right? To create the podcast or to host the retreats, but the mindset work. How have you gone about that?
I don't know, Les. I feel like that's the season I'm actually right now in. Like, I feel like I'm currently bursting through the season of like, I asked for these things and now I'm here. Yeah. And what does that look like? And it's some scary shit. And I've had to challenge myself and really deeply reflect where the fear comes from. Mm-hmm. It's because like when you're manifesting and like when you're a kid and you're like dreaming of something, you're like, I'm going to accept this reward and this is going to be the speech, you know? And then it happens and you're like, oh shit. And I'm in that like, oh shit place, you know, like, damn, like I've manifested these things. But what I've learned is that even in manifesting them, that I am just realizing that I may not have really believed I was worthy of the manifestations until I'm in it, and I feel fear of like not of the success, but can I uphold all these things? Yeah, and am I like and almost like how do they say like what do they call it when you're in somewhere but you don't feel like you're supposed to be there? Oh, imposter syndrome.
Yeah. yes.
So I'm coming to the point where I'm like, I deserve this. I'm worthy of this. I've worked for this. Yes. And you know, and I'm enjoying it, because there's a fear that like once you manifest all these things, then you're like, when is something going to drop? Like, when is something going to go wrong, you know? And I'm just like, no, bitch, nothing's going wrong, you know, because you deserve this place. You deserve to like be at peace. And that's the thing. It's like we strive for things, but it's like really feeling how it feels to be there. And then once you're there, like letting the fear go away and just being present in the peace and the happiness and the work that you've done. So I feel like it's been a lot of self-talks with myself. Yeah. Telling myself you're worthy and you're deserving and you worked for this. Yeah. Like literally saying that to myself in my head on a regular basis. So I think it's a lot of affirmations that are happening to change my mindset. Like recently I had a session with our therapist. It seems like we're going to marriage counseling.
We go separately.
We go separately, but we do have the same therapist. And she's like, what are you working through right now? And I was just like, everything's really good. And I'm scared. And she's like, okay, so we're not going to meet next week. Like, bitch, you know what you need to do. And I'm like, but wait, hold on. So I'm like, yeah, I'm realizing that I have the tools, and even if it feels scary, that it's just like a mindset shift, like you said.
Right. Yeah. What I appreciate about what you said, because it's really important. I think we do the mindset work to get to the good place, but the mindset work is almost even more important when we're in the good place, so that we stay in the good place and we don't sabotage it.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's part of that can be the, well, I don't want to even say that's the hardest part. I actually think that's the easiest part. I think the hardest part is getting the mindset to believe that you can even manifest the things that you want.
Yeah.
I know for me, I have had to accept that you attract what you are ready for. And a lot of times the things that me and Jamilah, or even just individually, that I've asked for haven't shown up as quickly as I thought, or they kind of show up looking differently than I've imagined them to.
Right.
And it's having the presence of mind to notice when those things happen. It's like, oh, it actually did show up. It wasn't exactly how I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Or that wasn't the season for that for me.
Yep.
And not allowing that to discourage my mindset.
Right.
And then block what I'm still trying to invite in. So I think it's a lot of time with yourself. I really think that, like, at the beginning of this year, I dedicated myself to really really committing myself to meditation.
Yeah.
And I think that meditation has been one of those things that has helped me a lot, because I think as humans, we don't ever spend 15 minutes just alone.
Right.
Especially
as a mom.
As moms, as entrepreneurs, as women, as partners, as people addicted to our phones. Like, there's always a distraction. And even for me, like, I'm not a perfect meditator. I'm not a perfect, this practice is not perfect at all.
Yeah.
But it's something that I know has, I guess, helped me get in better mindsets and not allow, like, my mindset to totally, like, unravel my whole day, or just like whatever it is I'm trying to invite in.
Yeah. How have you gotten into meditation, and what has starting that practice look like for you? Like, do you like to use apps? Do you do it at a certain time of day? What's helped?
It's a mixture. It's kind of like working out, like, I can't do the same shit every fucking time.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I cannot go to the gym 5 days a week for 6 months straight. Like, there's no way. I got to switch it up. So at the beginning of the year, we did a meditation challenge and with our community, and we did use an app. And that really kicked me off in a really positive way, because I think I love challenges, because they kind of, like, make everyone kind of be held accountable.
For sure. And doing it with people.
Right. Yeah. And we do a lot of challenges with our communities, with our community too. And the meditation one really, I feel like, was impactful for me. But I started with apps, and then because we do our retreats in Costa Rica, when I went out there, I was like, I have, like, the most amazing meditation. It's called nature.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, I think we underestimate that even in your own, like, when you're at home, just that you have these sounds. Yes, if you live in a city, it's a bit more difficult. You have to kind of drown out the sounds. But if you are living in a place where you are surrounded by nature, and, like, that's also been a really amazing meditation tool for me. So, I try to switch it up.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need help, though. I need guidance.
For sure.
And sometimes I meditate and I'm like, that did absolutely nothing. Like, I'm still anxious.
I'm still stressed. Yes. I have that happen all the time.
Right? And that can feel defeating. And you're like, damn, like, that sucked. So.
What's great about meditation, though, and I'm so glad that you brought it up, is I think meditation has taught me that just because I have thoughts, I don't have to believe them. Like, you can see a thought come and go, but you don't have to embody it and believe it, which I think is so important for what we're talking about in terms of expansion and just believing that we are worthy of what we're trying to call in.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I mean, our minds are extremely extremely powerful. And I was like listening to a podcast or something, and they were saying how a lot of times it's our thoughts are the worst. It's not even like sometimes when we get hurt by something or someone, it's not even the actual action that is the most hurtful thing. It's what our thoughts do after the fact.
It's replaying it in your head over and over.
And that like create all these narratives, and it's not even the action that happened that was the worst thing.
But it's like what you tell yourself after.
Exactly.
It's so true. Being like an observer of your thoughts, for instance, like if you're in a relationship or someone says something to you or they do something, it's like I've noticed it. Like if someone says something, or like maybe like someone did something to like go against your trust, but then it's like the immediate thoughts after, like he likes her more, she's prettier, she's cooler, like, it's like these other things, or like, bitch, nobody even said any of those things.
Right.
You said them.
Right.
And now you're spiraling.
Exactly.
And it's like being able to catch those thoughts before they bring you to this whole other conclusion that's not even true. Like I've really, like I'm a very jealous person. Not in my relationships, I can be very jealous, but I've been challenged a lot in this last year to like process the thoughts that I'm having. Like, do you really care about this? Are you really jealous? Like, are you jealous, or are you just tripping? Or, you know, do you feel like someone has something more than you or something more to offer, you know? And then it's like, just like kind of like peeling back the layers of those thoughts. And then having the mindset to say like, I'm going to either accept this to be true or I'm not. And then moving on with your day. But it's like sometimes we don't even have the wherewithal to stop, pause, and then, you know, like sort through it and throw some shit out.
Right.
We're just like taking it all in and internalizing it. And then you're feeling bad about yourself. And you're like, wait, hold up.
Right.
This is not even true.
Right. Or even if it's true right now, it doesn't mean that it's true forever.
Right. Right.
Exactly. No, I love that perspective. So I would love to talk a little bit about limiting beliefs, because I think it's something that we all struggle with and can be very physically limited by, even if it starts in our minds. So what are some ways that you two overcome limiting beliefs?
Literally just like letting them go.
Yeah.
Like removing them, and even like reflecting and reflecting. Like, why do I believe this? Why do I believe like this person can have this, but I can't? Like, why do I feel like that's something that's like white people shit? You know what I mean? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Or like, why can't, you know, like I'm constantly questioning where my thoughts have been like birthed and sourced, and like when I've made these decisions, or if I've even made them, you know, these agreements with myself. And like but mostly it's like comparison, like thinking that certain things are reserved for certain people that I'm not included in, and then having to be like you know, like that's not true, especially like being a Black girl and growing up in like the Valley with like privileged friends, and like having to like dismantle some of the assumptions or the agreements that I've made about why they deserve certain things or why they have certain things. Like, oh, they're just like, that's like daddy's girl, that type shit. You know what I mean? And like just having to remove all of that and start over.
Yeah.
I think limiting beliefs is something that it's a practice. You actually have to actively work at it. I don't think it's something that you just for me, it's not something I've just woken up one day and said, okay, well, that belief system's done with. Yeah. It's like really digging into it and going against it. It's like going against yourself, essentially. It's like doing the opposite of what feels comfortable is really what has helped me like break these limiting beliefs. And that's super challenging. And that's why I think most people don't break those type of habits and cycles, because it's really fucking uncomfortable. Just like they say, growth is uncomfortable. Yeah. I mean, limiting beliefs is essentially like an inhibiting who you are as a person and your growth. And, you know, I think, you know, it's so interesting talking to like older generations about, because, you know, our podcast, we talk about sex a lot, and we have different types of guests on that have different types of lifestyles and different belief systems, right? And so just talking even like for certain family members who, you know, grew up in a certain time, and they like, for me, trying to explain to them certain things like about like sex work or you know, just whatever it might be, and hearing their perspective and saying, and then also like understanding it, and like knowing that like I've adopted certain parts of their belief systems and understanding what about this is actually limiting for me. Like, do I actually agree with some of these limiting beliefs? Because I think we are in a time now where like we're supposed to accept everything and if you go against anyone's views or anyone's positions or anyone's, you have a limited belief system. And I think like you have to make that choice personally of like what that actually means for you.
Right.
And that can feel overwhelming. And that can feel, even in my space where like I am really an open person, but there are things where I'm like, yeah, that's not for me.
Yeah.
And then, or I'm like, that is for me. And it's really just, I feel like a lot of work in like writing things down, having conversations with yourself, and just having compassion for yourself and other people too. Yeah.
You said something that like stood out. You were saying about like it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about like a limiting belief, especially because a lot of our beliefs are adopted, is that even a limiting belief will be more comfortable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's more, even if it's like,
that's what I'm saying. You have to go against yourself.
And that's an ironic statement. It's like, why would something limiting also be comfortable? And it's because we've been comfortable in believing that our whole lives. And I had that thought recently too. And it's like, I'm always like trying to be like, open and like accept everybody's perspective, and everybody's different. And like, I'm always thinking, and like objectively, but the truth is like some shit you're just not gonna fuck with, and, but for me, it's hard to come up with those because I'm always thinking in other people's like, well, this is for them or this is for that, or that's okay because, and it's like, no bitch. And I had to tell my friend that, like, I have a young friend and she's like, well, you can't say that or whatever. And I'm like, that's cool. But like, you do know you don't have to like that. Like it could be cool for somebody else, and you can also be like, no, I'm cool on that for me, and I think like sometimes in this like life that we're living with so many, you're afraid to say things against people because you're afraid to say the wrong thing. There's a lot of fear, but some shit is cool for other people and not cool for you, and it really requires that you dismantle the things that you've been taught. To really feel like, is this comfortable for me, or is this like, or am I so comfortable in being uncomfortable that I've just like, I've accepted this as my ceiling, because like sometimes people accept their ceiling because it's like to get to the next level would be too difficult. To break out of that would be like so like. It's the fear of not being able to do it successfully. So I'll just say fuck it and be comfortable here. Like the contentment. Oh yeah. Like, oh, that bitch is naked all the time. Like, no, I'm cool. Like that means she's a slut. But it's like, does it, or do you really just want to be naked too? Right. You know what I mean? And it's just like really taking the time to be alone, and it takes courage to sit with yourself and be like, no, I'm good on this. Or actually, maybe I was triggered by this because it's something I actually want to do and I've been fearful of doing it. Right. So it's like constantly a back and forth with yourself.
Yeah. And I think we can get really comfortable in really shitty situations sometimes if that's all we know.
Absolutely. If you saw your parents in shitty situations, if you saw cousins or aunties or grandmas in shitty relationships, you're like, oh, I could take the shitty. I'm used to this.
Because we know the outcome.
Yeah, this feels good.
Even if it's not necessarily what we want, there's sometimes comfort in knowing what we're going to get versus that risk of, like you said, kind of going up beyond that ceiling. It can be scary. Even if there's potential to be better, the fact that it's different can be so scary. Yeah. How do y'all
You're like, I'm comfortable in this shit. I know this shit.
Right.
But I don't know that shit. So I'm going to stay in this fucked up shit.
Exactly. How do you overcome that fear? Have you ever come up against that?
I thrive in, I don't know, like I have a weird obsession with like expansion in ways, and this is not because I'm perfect at all, because I'm not, but like I know like I'm on this earth for a limited amount of time. Like if I can't stay in the same place, I will go fucking nuts. Like I have to go to the next level. So even when it's, and that's a gift, and I'm so grateful that I have that at least mindset for that, and do I travel into these new spaces perfectly and just float in like, yes, it's so wonderful, and now I've tapped into this new space? No, it's messy and it's crazy, and I'm like scared, but that's like the most exciting part of life for me. I think. Agreed. Is like the idea that the Erica right now, today, whatever day it is in May, like Erica next May is going to be in a whole different place, in a whole different space. Yes, the foundations of me will be there, but like I know that like I'm just excited by the idea that there's always another opportunity to be better, to change your mind, to, you know, question. So I don't say, that's not to say that I've never been up, like confronted those things. I think that it's just a matter of, I don't know, like when I do feel those ways, like having people to tap into, like having a Jamilah, having my tribe, having other people that I've seen that have like elevated, and being able to talk to them. And like I believe like having mentors is really important. Like having examples is really important too. Trying to find and surround yourself with people. And I think me and Milah are really lucky because we meet so many people on this path of podcasting where we are like, oh, that's so interesting. Like you've like, okay, you did that and you're, look at you, you know? So being able to kind of have examples around you, I think is really important, and kind of offsets the fear.
Right.
So if you want to have success and if you want to have these things, it's important to surround yourself with people that are doing those things, that are like leveling up, that are doing those things, so that you kind of have less fear and are excited about that next elevation.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more. And even if in your environment you don't have access to that, that's why listening to conversations like this,
exactly,
the content you consume is so important.
It is important, and that's such a true statement, because I know there's people listening, and there's people that have listened to us like, I don't have a friend, I don't have this, I don't have that, and it's like there are tools and things like listening to a podcast, you become and educating yourself and sitting with the company that you want to keep. That's right there is kind of already, as we say, you know, manifesting is such, I love the word manifesting, but I'm like, I wish we need to come up with another word.
I know it's getting a little,
it's overused,
taking some turns.
The power of
intentional dreaming.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
But like listening to the things that you want, the things that you want to surround yourself with are powerful tools in inviting in those real energies into your life, I think. And that's kind of the beauty of, one of the beauties of social media and of podcasting. There's a lot of dark sides, but I think that's one of the beauties. Yeah. For sure.
Can show us what's possible. Yeah. What do you think, Milah?
Similar to Erica, I think one of my biggest fears is like, my biggest fear has always been like, I would hate to like be facing, like about to be in my deathbed and be like, damn, I shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yep.
That's always been my fear. Like my biggest fear is that I, you know, like my life goes by and I'm like, damn, I should have taken that chance. Damn, I should have tried harder. And I've that's been my greatest like push, you know, like I don't want to settle and then regret it.
Yeah.
And I've seen, you know, and a lot of times we see people, you know, we see the results of what settling does, you know, and I saw my mom do it in her relationship. And that also instilled this, like ignited some type of courage, but instilled a fear that this could potentially be me if I don't push past this comfort.
Yeah.
And, I feel like, even in this journey, even prior to Good Moms, there have always been mystical signs, if you will. You know, you have a thought and then the universe will reinforce it. But you have to be aligned enough to pay attention and to take it as a sign. And like, even before like we discovered Good Moms, and before like, just like when I was in like a relationship with my child's father and I felt like I was drowning and I was like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
But I didn't have the courage yet to leave, but I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
As soon as I knew, like I could feel like the courage building up, everything was starting to tell me, like literally I was like, I've said this story a lot. Like I was at a restaurant, I was with Luna, we were alone. This random white lady was sitting next to us. Like, you know, when people want to talk and you don't want to talk, but she wanted to talk. And he went to the bathroom and she looked over at me and she was like, you're growing much faster than him, aren't you?
Oof.
And I was like, bitch. I was like, God damn. But it was like the
I don't have time for this today.
Right. Literally was like, girl, I didn't ask for you.
Right.
Like, but
you did.
But I did, and I knew. And I was like, damn, this fucking random white lady is talking to me like she fucking knows me.
Right.
And she does. I was pissed, but there were signs, you know, like even like just there were messages, there were signs, there was feelings in my body that I could not deny.
Yeah.
And I could have, because it would have felt more like comfortable in the time, but I was dying inside.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was me having the notion to know, like instinctually, like something needs to shift, and then paying attention to everything, every sign, every Instagram post, every random white lady telling me a message I didn't fucking ask for. That also ignited me to know, to trust the process, that like spirit was delivering these messages and these signs, not only in my heart and in my mind, but from outside factors, until finally I was just like, all right, it's time to jump, bitch, you know? And then you do. Yeah. And then, you know, and I've stumbled and I've fallen and I've been in fucked up situations, but alone. And, you know, and I've moved out of them. And so I think a lot of it is just like, not, you know, like, what do you stand for?
Right.
Like, who are you? What do you stand for? And a lot of another fear of mine is like not being who I say I am. I'm like, do I want to leave this world not being who I thought I was or who I said I was? Like, if you're fearless, be fearless.
Yeah.
If you're strong, if you love yourself, let everybody and everything reflect it. And I think sometimes we say things and we're not walking in the things that we say, and it requires us to check ourselves. Like, bitch, this isn't aligned with the person you said you wanted to be.
Yeah.
And admitting it and then shifting.
It's almost like how you would hold a partner accountable. Like, you said that you were going to do this. You said that this is how you showed up. And it's like, we often are like afraid to kind of turn that lens to ourselves and say,
well, because it's easier to blame someone outside of you. Like,
Yeah.
you said, but it's like, no, bitch, you
said. When someone says like, what are like 3 characteristics that define you? And you say, oh, like, I'm loving. And then really you're not really being loving to yourself or to other people. It's like having to really look at yourself and say, is that really who I am? Or is that who I aspire to be? You know, and
what's blocking me from being this loving person?
Right.
Even saying you're loving, and then especially as a woman, and then like not being loving in ways. Like, I remember being little and my mom being such a bitch, and I'm like, what the fuck is her problem? And then like being an adult now, and I'm like in my head, and things are going wrong, and shit's getting flushed down the toilet, and bills are coming and shit, and I'm like. And then I'm like, why are you a bitch? Like, are you loving? I'm like, I'm loving, but I'm stressed out. But it's like a constant pendulum, you know, like, not to be loving, but it is. It's like to have positive thoughts. Offer positive speech, and then have positive actions. Like, you think it's very simple, but I've really recognized that, like, as adults, we have to be retrained like we're children. Like,
absolutely.
That wasn't nice. Like, say something, be nice. You know? And it's like the dumbest.
We're big kids. I mean, our needs are not that different from children's.
No.
We need the same stuff.
And we forget the lessons that we're taught as children. And it's like, even the lesson of like, get back up and try again, Johnny. You can do it. Like, you're brave. You know, like how you talk to your kid. And it's like, do I talk to myself that way?
Right.
Do I encourage myself and like the people that I'm closest to the same way? Or I'm like, you know, people are so quick to perform and to show up how they think someone else wants them to show up.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm going to dress like this because like I don't want anyone to think I want too much attention, or I'm going to be like this because of this. But it's like, no, Johnny, you be who exactly you're supposed to be, you know. But then like we forget to tell ourselves like, no, bitch, show up exactly how you want to be.
Exactly.
Because we get like programmed into like, you know, the workforce. We're supposed to be corporate. We're supposed to talk like, especially as Black women, we're supposed to talk like this. Don't be too loud. Don't wear your hair too kinky. There's all these like ways you have to show up in certain spaces, and it's like you forget how to be yourself.
Right.
But the way we tell kids, you don't have, like, if Jackie doesn't want to be your friend, that's fine.
These names,
Jackie and Johnny.
You know what I mean.
Absolutely. And I think to that point, a lot of it is like we have to start being who we want to be before we get there. I think we reach these certain points and then I can be happy, or then I can be expanded and I can be this, but you have to be that first and then get there. And a lot of the time we have it backwards.
And that's a hard lesson, and it's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. And it requires a lot of practice, and it requires a lot of reflection, and it requires a lot of, just alone time and uncomfortable realizations that I struggle with right now.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to choose the right thing all the time. It's not easy to make the right choice, especially in a world where we have so many fucking choices.
Right.
It's almost like too many choices, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so many examples too. It's just, it can feel disheartening. But I think it's a matter of going back to, you know, almost like going back to like that child.
Mm-hmm.
Who was that child? What did she want? What made her happy?
Yeah.
Like, what made her light up?
Mm-hmm.
What was she excited about? What made her sad?
Yeah.
And like starting there, because it's really not that complicated.
Right.
Our needs and our wants, they're really not that crazy.
Mm-hmm.
As adults, we think we need all these different things and like these accolades and items, and those things are nice too, and you should have them if those are the things you want. But like thinking about, well, who was I before the world kind of touched me in ways,
right?
And that can be. And I think that's the hardest work of all.
Yeah.
But then, yes, showing up as that person now, because I think about that too, is like, you know, success I've always been a little bit scared of success. And, you know, now that I'm in this, you know, we are entrepreneurs and we're always creating and creating and creating. And sometimes I forget to celebrate my wins.
Yeah.
Because I'm always focused on the next one. And at times I've numbed myself where like big things have happened and I've zoomed past them.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay, that's cool. What's next? We got to focus on you know? And it's like, no, bitch, like
enjoy this.
This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like even with this book, it's like, you are an author.
Yes.
Like I was like thinking about this the other day and my daughter was like, learning about, you know, table of contents and books and authors. And she was like, this is an author, this is an author. And I was like, wait, I'm an author.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
I'm an author right here.
And it's like, I've known that. But like, for some reason, like my brain has not like computed that in my head because I'm thinking about, how are people going to get the book? I need people to get the book.
Are you a New York Times bestselling author?
Right.
Like, all these things,
right.
You know?
All this pressure. Yeah.
And it's like, and it's like, are you like, be happy right in this moment because you might become a New York Times bestselling author, but you might not. And either way, like, are you going to be able to appreciate that moment and what that felt like?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that those things can be really overwhelming for me. Though that's what overwhelms me, not the expansion. It's like the presence in the expansion that
like,
overwhelms
are you gonna look back and be like, did I even remember that shit?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I did this and I did this and I did that. I'm like, but do I remember each like point at which I accomplished these things? That's true.
It is true, because I think oftentimes those seasons in our lives where we do maybe step into this new level often feel like such a blur. I don't know if y'all feel that way. I feel that way about the times where I've really leveled up or achieved something great or reached a goal. I'm like, I don't even remember because I was so busy with my head down doing the things. I don't even remember what happened.
I resonate with that.
For real. I literally thought the other day, I'm like, what's going to happen like after like May 9th?
Yeah.
I was like, what's going to happen? Well, who will I be?
Right.
After the 9th of May. Well, what will I be doing?
Yeah.
Because everything up to this point is only counted on up till May 9th. And I mean, obviously.
But it's not true, though.
No, it's not.
Know?
It's not.
Like
but like.
One like goal that we're trying to check off the list, apparently. Like, you know, and that's the thing, is like not looking at it that
right.
way.
It's just like, who cares? It's like, you still wrote a book, bitch. You still published a book, and it's great, you know, and like, and I've had to like check myself in a lot of points and just sit back and be like, bitch, you've done a lot in the last year, you know, and I'm in awe of myself. Like, I don't know how the fuck we did some of the shit we did, and it's really, it's more difficult than I thought it would be to not find joy, but like feel it, like sit in it, feel it, and just be like, oh, okay, this is what it feels like to be on my way to the top.
One of the practices that I don't do it enough, but I did it recently, and it's just literally talking to myself in the mirror. Like, it's very Issa Rae, And but she was on, that's some real shit.
Yeah.
It's like hyping yourself up.
How do you do that? Because I feel like such a clown when I try. I just feel so goofy. I can't.
It is goofy, but no one else is there, girl. It's just you and yourself.
That's true.
You know, and I've had like super dramatic moments where I'm crying and I'm trying to make myself feel better and looking in the mirror and I'm like, stop it. Stop crying. Or there's times where like compassion, like it's okay. You're going to be okay. Or there's times where like, look how amazing your life is.
Yeah.
Look what you've been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time.
Right.
Like the odds were stacked against you and still you rose to the occasion and you showed up.
Yes.
You know, and like looking at yourself in the mirror and saying that, because you will say it to someone else. Like Milah said, like we say these things to our children, we say these things to our friends, but looking at yourself in the mirror and saying those things is really powerful.
Yeah.
And being able to look at yourself and notice every little feature on your face, look at your nose, look at your eyes, look at your mouth as it says these things to you. And it really brings you into the present, you know? And I think that that's a practice for me that has been really powerful and something I do need to do more often.
Yeah.
And it's really, but that's very, very grounding and kind of like, okay, instead of like, you know, we can write things down and those, and don't get me wrong, I do those things too, but like sometimes you got to say the thing and not just like say it to yourself and look at yourself while you say it.
Yeah, like eye contact in the mirror, which is so
People
hard.
have a hard time making eye contact with strangers.
Yeah,
so
true.
you'd be surprised how often like you look in. I realized that like when I'm talking to Mel Robbins, like we rarely like we'll brush our teeth, wash our face, we'll go the whole morning and not look at ourselves. And making eye contact with yourself is some deep ass shit because we don't do it that often. Like we like avoid it with people, and then we'll avoid it with ourselves even more. And it's like sometimes I look at myself and I feel silly too, but then I laugh at me.
Yeah, then you laugh.
Yeah,
and then you just keep
See
pushing through.
Yeah, and even seeing yourself acknowledge you be human is a part of the process, and then you can laugh with yourself. I'm like, bitch, it's okay. Everything is going to be okay. I tell myself that all the time. Like, you're safe and everything's going to be okay. And it's like, and I'm like, you survived everything up to this point. Like, it ain't about to take you out.
Yeah, I think like positive affirmations to yourself are really powerful. We have with our book, when you buy our book, you get a gift with purchase, and one of them, they're both these like affirmation speeches where we're hyping whoever's listening up. And you know, when I was writing it, I wrote it and I said it to myself in the mirror, because it was like, okay, I need to see how this makes me feel. And it is really powerful to say things to yourself. Like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job. You did the best that you can. It wasn't perfect, but you did it.
Yeah.
You know, and because sometimes you're never going to hear that from anyone else.
Right.
So you're waiting to hear these things from other people.
Yeah.
And the person that you need to hear it from the most is yourself.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know? Like,
and it often doesn't hold as much weight from other people.
no, we're so quick to be like, oh yeah, thanks.
Right. They're
like,
just being nice. It's in last week's episode, I talked about the idea of confidence deposits, like thinking about our confidence like a bank account and like constantly doing things to deposit. And one of the things that I touched on was the fact that like other people can deposit into your account, but it's not going to hold as much value as when you deposit into your own account. That's what makes you really start to believe it.
I start to notice when people start like, even like right now, because like the book is coming and people are like, I'm so proud of you. Like I see you leveling up, and I'm like, what's going on with you?
Right. Like we
shut
deflect.
up.
We like feel uncomfortable.
Like,
Yeah.
Like, it's cool. Anyway, like, and it's partially like me not wanting, like, I mean, I've acknowledged the accomplishments, but also like not knowing how to take it.
Right.
And also like not wanting to feel like I'm overly like too cool, or I don't know what the fuck it is, because it's true. You know what I mean? But it's like, just like, yeah, like downplaying the thing so that I can like deflect and move on to somebody else's thing, because like, I don't know if I've not really taken it all in, or it just feels big and I'm not ready to like, I don't know. It's like I feel outside of the things that I'm doing, even though that I'm doing it. I feel like outside of them, you know. Yeah. So it's like it's this crazy like part of being human. It's like we want all these things, and then we got them, and then we're still like
We don't know what to do with it.
we don't know what to do with them. It's crazy. Yeah,
That's so real. And I think that's something that women deal with a lot. And then especially as Black women, I think we tend to downplay the things that we do because, God forbid, we get too confident or we get too much. And then people tend to feel a way about that. And I'm learning to just not. Who cares? if they feel a way about it.
Well, the people feel away, and I think about just our own people feel away. Too.
That includes all included in people.
It's so interesting how we are some of our biggest haters, you know, and like we can't wait to see one of our own fail and fall. Yeah. It's the strangest thing, you know. It's not strange. I mean, we've been programmed to do this, but you know, I don't know. It's so crazy, like putting energy into like the way that the media has monetized and made this a commodity of like people's rise and fall, rise and fall. That it's like it's almost part of it's entertainment at this point, and you do and because it's outside of yourself, it's easy to like watch and be entertained, but those are people's lives. Those are real people, and sometimes we forget. Like even on Instagram, like I was telling Milah, like I'm like in this space where I'm kind of like triggered by people's love on Instagram. And
did you have
story of my life?
No.
Are you following me?
I always feel that way, but I've had to realize that's a me thing. That's not a them. That has nothing to do with them.
No, it's 100%.
I hate it too.
But I like see. It's almost like I get scared for them. I'm like,
right,
oh, no,
same.
Are you sure?
Yes. I'm like, oh, this is a hard launch.
Ooh, bitch.
Hard launch, hard fall, and I don't want that to happen.
And then we're a part of it because I'll text Erica so quick, like a picture of someone alone, like, did they break up?
And I know.
And she's like,
you can always tell. You can always tell.
They're hard launch in love, and then there's a hard fall, like a hard disconnect.
Right.
Oh God.
And I was just like, what is wrong with me? I'm looking at people's like the rises and falls. I'm like, girl, that's because you posted that picture too early, bitch. You know,
you declared love publicly too soon.
Not gonna embarrass me in public. Only private.
Let me feel safe in love. Let me feel safe
privately
in love for like
me.
5 minutes, and I'm gonna be posting in no time. So like, I know that. So I'm just like, bitch, stop. This is so you problem. Like you'll be posting,
and I think it's just human nature. It's kind of how social media has like rewired our brains to, you know, be the natural.
It's like to keep count, keep track, keep tabs.
Like, oh, I knew that wasn't gonna last.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Even for me, like, I'm deeply in love, and I post all the time. And then sometimes I'm like, maybe I need to chill. I was definitely the bitch who was annoyed by bitches posting their love every 5 minutes. Like, all right, bitch, we get it. And now here I am, like. Yeah. And then I had to have a talk with myself, like, it's okay to post.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are not the annoying bitch that annoyed you last week. You are, but this is why you have to learn and grow.
And that's why we've all been on all sides of it.
Yeah.
All sides of it.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I'm here for it. I'm here for all the love. Like, I rarely would delete a nigga after, like, if it's over because you were in the history.
Oh my gosh. I delete them from my memory. It's just like they don't exist, but
it's again, it's the mind. It's your mindset, and it's like being able to acknowledge where you're at, you know. And I know it's silly. I know that I'm very clear that it's a me thing, you know.
But it feels very real, even though it's like all of this is happening in the digital world. It is a reflection of the real world, and those feelings that we get when we do see those things are very real. It doesn't mean that they're facts or that we need to sit in them, but. A real feeling.
But then we make up these narratives about it too, right? Because like I've done that. Like, this shit's not gonna last. Like, I don't know why this bitch posted this person, or like, he looks corny, or like whatever these things are. You know what I mean? Like making judgments or making up stories about whatever we think that they are, and like we've done it. We're guilty of it, and. It's like, and I know people are probably doing it to me. I'm probably triggering people with my fucking online love. But I've realized, even if with my success, is like this weird guilt that comes with it. And it's like, it's not a guilt. It's a guilt because I've been in a place not that long ago where I'm like, what the fuck am I about to do? Like, this is not working. What am I about to do? Like, struggling financially, just struggling personally. And then like, now that I've come to this place where I'm manifesting at a high level and I'm living a life that really is just like being myself. And it feels almost too good to be true. It feels like I feel guilty about it sometimes. That's why I deflect.
Yeah, but life like should feel good.
But that's how like I worked for this.
Yeah,
like I really like this is the life that I envisioned for myself. That things would just effortlessly flow to me, and I wouldn't have to like be a totally different person. Like I would be able to show up as myself, and I've created that. And now that I'm in it, I feel some ways like I know how it felt to get to that place and not get it. And so now that I'm thriving, and even in my relationship, I've had to tell myself it is okay to be in love and it be public and not to fear that it's going to end or like crash and burn. It's okay to have found success and found, like a career in a place that doesn't feel like you have to put a lot of effort in because this is actually what you fucking asked for. Yeah. And I did. Like, I don't want a relationship I have to really work very like super hard. Like I want it to be flow and be easeful and peaceful. And that's what I got. Yeah. And I have a career that's easeful and it's peaceful. And of course it's stressful, but I got the things that I wanted, and now I deserve to be at peace with them without feeling like I'm doing something wrong.
Right. Or like the other shoe is going to drop or
or that like I'm, somehow, just I don't know, like some guilt about doing exactly what I sought out to do.
Right.
Being a human is so fucking complicated.
It is. It is.
It's like it shouldn't be. Like I feel like it's not, but we make it complicated because of our brains.
That's what the series is all about. All about the brain.
I was reading this book. It's an old book called The Power of Positive Thinking, and he was saying how like work is not hard, life is not hard, that you are just spiritually and emotionally imbalanced. And I was like, that's so true, because it like when I am feeling balanced and spiritually, emotionally, and all those things, work doesn't feel that hard. Yeah. But the moment like something is off, like that's why there is such an importance in checks and balances in your emotional well-being. Right. Like you have to do wellness checks on yourself. Yeah. And prioritize them. And that's the hardest part. But like everything else, like a lot of times people like run away from their careers or run away from cities or they're always running, like trying to change something when it's really like, this is the imbalance here. There's something happening here that's imbalanced. And, that's, it's like the age all, what they always say, they tell everyone, like, you got to be right with yourself, you know?
No matter where you go, there you are.
Yeah. What's that song? Like, if you can't. I don't remember. It's like the same song. Like you gotta. I don't know.
But it's it's.
You know what you're talking about. Lauryn Hill. How you gonna win when you ain't right within? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone's singing it right now, listening to this.
Yeah.
It's true though. Like that self-love is like the most simple and like the first rule we're taught, and then we don't really take it for granted. But it's like even in love, even in relationships, you will never be happy in any success in any accomplishments if you haven't like leveled up with like the mindset of yourself. Right. Like you'll have success, you'll be down, you'll be up. But if you're not like good here, then you're fucked.
Exactly. So I also want to talk a little bit about the book, because we've mentioned it, but we haven't got to like actually talk about your new book, A Good Mom's Guide to Making Bad Choices, that's now out. When this episode's out, the book is out. Yes! I'm so excited. So can you tell us more about the book, who you wrote it for? I would also love to hear about your experience as co-authors, because writing a book sounds like the hardest thing ever. And I feel like doing it as a co-author would just be a unique experience. Want to hear all of it.
So co-authoring was definitely especially for us never writing a book. I mean, this is the only thing we have to go off. Yeah. But yeah, the book comes out today, and it's been such a labor of immense love. It's been very challenging because the book is personal. Yeah. On our show, we share a lot of our lives, but the book is really a deep dive into these different chapters of our lives that have kind of defined certain moments and decisions of how we became mothers and how we've, overcome obstacles, how we've accepted our good and bad choices, and not all bad choices are bad choices. Right. And that's really that's kind of the whole play on our show and in general. the book is both of me and Milah's voices. So each chapter has a section by me, a section by her, and we're both talking about our experience in whatever stage in life we're addressing. And so it starts off with us before children, and like, who we were before children. Our thoughts about children, what we thought we knew about love and life and relationships. And then that journey into pregnancy and what that was like, and how it's never anything you really expect. And, and then after that, you have a baby. So what's that like? And all the lies that they tell you and all the things that they feed you. And like, this book is really a guide to, and we say this a lot, but it really is true. It's a guide to all the shit they don't tell you. And I really think it's a powerful tool for women who don't even have children, who are maybe considering having kids, or maybe on the fence, and this book might be birth control, or it might be the exact thing you needed to say, you know what, I'm ready. Let's do it. So
the book has definitely been a labor of love. We definitely go on deep dives of things personally that we haven't like fully explored on the show, which I don't even know how that's possible. But it is everything I wish I had before I decided to have a child. It's the real shit that I wish I really knew that someone would have told me prior to starting this chapter of my life as far as motherhood goes. I definitely think it's a really beautiful also resource for women who may be, finding themselves in a separation with their child's father. I think that's something that's not like discussed a lot. I think especially for single Black women, there's like a huge stereotype that is kind of attached to being a single mom that we don't address. And I think we kind of discuss that in a very personal way, which provides like, it's not just you, girl. Like the fear that is associated with having a child with someone and then maybe breaking up with them. We really get with that. We really discuss like abuse that I experienced with my child's father. And like, that's not something I've talked very much about, but that's not something people talk about, and, it also goes into depth about just transition and, how to gracefully transition through things. And like inevitably in life we transition, and whether you're a mom or not, we kind of touch on just all the ways that we were able to do that gracefully and sometimes not so gracefully, and the hard and ugly truths about what it looks like to be heartbroken, what it looks like to be disappointed, what it looks like to disappoint yourself, and also what it looks like to come up out of those spaces and reclaim your power, and the importance of just betting on yourself and being yourself and showing up as yourself and accepting all parts of you. Obviously we're good moms that make bad choices, but this is really a book that kind of provides a safe place to make bad choices and feel supported in them and feel like there's a life after even breakups or bad choices or, all the things that society tells you are unacceptable. So it's definitely not your average mommy book.
That's for sure.
But so needed.
It's super needed. I'm really proud of this work that we've, collaboratively put together. And I really do think that it's something that women really need right now. Yeah. And I think it's time for this, to go out into the world.
Absolutely. Book baby.
It's our book baby.
We birthed our little baby.
And how does it feel now that it's out, it's published? It's like, is it relief? Is it excitement?
It is relief. I think I've had a lot of fear. I mean, going into it, when we first got our book deal, it was, oh my God, we did it. This is crazy. And then it was like, oh my God, we have to write a book. Holy shit. Wait, how many pages? How many words? What? Like, what am I going to say? What's important? And then going through edits and the publisher saying, okay, you guys, like this part probably isn't important. I'm like, no, it really is. Everyone needs to know this part. And I'm like, is it? And, then now that it's out, I feel like it's cathartic. Yeah. There's a part of there was parts of me that I was still definitely holding on to that I thought I had already resolved. That writing the book really challenged me, and I had to face a lot of things.
Yeah.
I've been journaling since I was a small child, and so I went back into all my journals and reread them, because I had to take myself back into these moments of like, is this, asking yourself that question, is this who I say I am? Who was I then? You know, what actually did make me happy? Who am I now? And it's actually been extremely healing for me to go back into those moments, and then having to write and really reflect on them in an intelligent way, hopefully. So I think that I am just really excited for it to just go off into the world. It's kind of like podcasting for me. Like, I don't really listen to our podcast. Me and Milah like used to edit it early on, and you know, now we have a team that's, you know, thank God, shout out to our Good Moms Bad Choices team, that has really helped us kind of detach and been able to just speak our truth and walk away from it.
Yes.
And sometimes that can be, I think that's actually the gift, is that like, I just kind of can just walk away and this is what I said, and this is where I'm at. This is a timestamp of where I'm at this exact moment.
Yep.
And not have to overthink it and analyze it. And so that's kind of this book, although I have read it like 4 times because I had to. But I've kind of just like, okay, it's released. Whoever's mad is going to be mad about it, because there's a lot of personal things in there about people that might not be happy about my depiction of them. But it's my experience of what happened. And it really is, I'm grateful for every experience, for every heartbreak, for all the disrespect, for the love, for the experiences, for the good sex, for the bad sex, for the one-night stands, for the mushrooms at Coachella, for the tribe, for all of it, for the cheating, all of it, like for the failed co-parenting. Like, I'm grateful for all of it, because it really, it's a testimony of like, that you can be a good mom that makes bad choices, and you can be a good mom, and you can be an amazing mom, no, but despite all those things. Oh, absolutely. You know? Yeah. And that our choices don't define us.
Right. And even bad is relative. What we consider bad.
Yeah, I mean, like, even on the back of our book, we say, like, what does it say? What defines a good mom? What defines a bad choice? A mom who goes to every PTA meeting but pops a pill on the car ride home. A mom who smokes weed but shows up ready to play Barbies with her kids like a fucking pro. That's me. Hello. Like, some people may say, like, you smoke weed and then you go play with your kid. The fuck I do. Yes, I do. And it's great. You know, and you know, some people might think that's a great choice. So it's all relative. It's what makes you be able to show up as your highest, best self. Yeah. That's the choice that you need to make.
Definitely debunking the stereotypical ideas of what good moms are or bad choices are, and encouraging everyone to do the same.
Definitely. I love that. Well, I'm so excited for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll make sure the book is linked in the show notes so that everyone can get it and read it. Sounds like it's the perfect complement to this conversation. So I know our folks will love it.
Thank you.
Definitely about mindset.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. You'll get to meet us at all different types of mindsets in the book.
We will, and we have lots of gifts. When you buy our gift, you get it's the gift that keeps on giving. Yes, we're all about giving back to our tribe. Yes. So, thank you.
I love that. You know, and one of the things you mentioned was like the perfect segue. You mentioned mushrooms at Coachella. Perfect segue, because I'd also love to talk to y'all about plant medicine, because we're talking a lot about mindset, changing our minds, expanding our minds, and plant medicine is a really helpful tool for that. I've only had one plant medicine experience with you guys at the retreat last year.
How appropriate.
I know. So I was like, it's perfect to explore this topic on the podcast with you all. So I would love to hear a little bit more about your experiences, how you became familiar with plant medicine. Actually, maybe we can take a step back. If people don't know what plant medicine is, I'm referring to, at least when we did psilocybin at the retreat last year, although there's different kinds. There's like ayahuasca, all sorts of different things that people can do. But I would love to hear more about your experiences with it and how it has helped your mindset.
Well, you know, I've had a long journey with psilocybin. Early on, it was not for the purposes that I usually use it for now, which is with much more intention. sometimes I have used it without a lot of intention, just the intention of I'm going to have a good time and get out of my head.
Yeah.
So I think they can be used for both. Sometimes plant medicine, and especially when we're talking about it now in the times that we're in, can feel very goopy.
Yeah.
That's the word? Goopy.
Yes.
Everything must be in ceremony,
right.
and all those things, which I fully encourage everyone to try it that way for sure. But that just wasn't my experience early on, and I had great experiences in that way. But now in the ways that you experienced it was in ceremony at the Good Vibe Retreat. And it really psilocybin, I think, gets an interesting rap. Some people look at it as this thing where like you're totally out of your mind and you're maybe out of control, and you're seeing like the walls are melting. And
I didn't have that experience at all. Yeah.
You'd be surprised. People really, sometimes I think they're mixing certain drugs up, because that could also be an acid trip.
Right.
Although acid can be chill as well. But I think plant medicine really is very grounding. It's what I use I get a lot of answers when I do plant medicine, a lot of realizations, a lot of knowings that I already know, but that they just come full center when you take them. You just feel connected to everything, I guess, is the best way I can explain it. And you kind of reconnect back to yourself. Yeah. Which is, it's like a reintroduction back to yourself without judgment. And that's what I love the most about it. And that's what I love about our ceremonies too, is watching the women kind of reintroduce themselves to themselves and have these personal discoveries that come to be. And so that's what plant medicine has been for me. It's been just a truth teller for sure.
Wow, that was good. I think it is a truth teller. I think people think that's like psychedelics, plant medicine, take you like to an alternate reality. And I think it is. Like, I think it's actually the reality. I think we are so programmed with false things that we've interpreted as truth. And the truth is that a lot of plant medicine actually takes you to the most raw version of yourself, and it kind of like removes you from your body just straight to spirit. And I think that is the reality. That is, and it's a much needed gentle shift into the true essence of your soul. And I think a lot of times, I think it should be mandated that everybody have this experience so you can kind of see what's real and what's not, because the reality of what we live in is not that. It's not real. So it's given me a lot of opportunity to kind of see things as they truly are. And it's removed a lot of anxiety for me. And even in the book, there's a chapter called Bitch, I'm Magic. And I made not a bad choice, but I made a choice that probably isn't wildly popular, to go to Mexico during Christmas without my kid, with some friends, and I did LSD, and it changed my life. Like, I literally met myself again. I had an interaction with my ancestors, with all the female ancestors in my like lineage, and it shifted me. It wildly shifted my peeled back, the blinders, if you will, and it shifted everything after that. So it's just like the intention, where you're at. But I definitely think plant medicine grounds you in a way that is necessary, especially living in a society that is so heavily
ungrounding.
Right.
Ungrounding.
For sure. And so much of what I think we stress about or see as reality is like not real. I think that's been probably one of my biggest lessons since the pandemic, and so many things. It's like so much of what we stress about isn't real. So many of like my job, just sending emails, like, not real. It's not this big thing that we make it out to be.
That's my biggest thing. I always think about, like, when I'm stressed about shit, I'm always like, no, this is extreme. Like, if you die right now, what will matter?
Right.
And I'm like, will this shit matter? Well, if I sent these notes to David matter? No.
Right.
It's not
this
going to
email,
matter.
it's not
this
coming with
not
me.
Gonna matter. Like
Right.
at this very hour on this fucking Friday afternoon, like, is this going to make and break like anything? And it's a no.
Yeah.
And it's just like having that mindset, like what is important to me all the time, like leading with that. And obviously there's going to be little stresses and you have to deal with them, but it's really like ultimately if I check out to this motherfucker right now, how much will this shit matter?
Right.
And it's like, it doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't. Like, will I be mad I died in a 1-bathroom instead of a 2-bathroom apartment? You know, like, it's not going to matter.
Right.
They're going to write it on your tombstone.
Right. Like, she
one bathroom.
she had the Ford Fusion, not the Escalade. Like, you know, but it's like bullshit. Like, we really pride ourselves on things that don't fucking matter.
Right.
It's the love, it's the experiences,
Yeah.
it's the laughs, it's the hugs.
Right.
You know, like we forget, even like the retreat is such a good reminder for us, like, to hug people, to touch, to, you know, like to sit and stare at people for a minute. And like, you know, it's like, I'm so grateful for that space because it kind of like, it helps me be more loving. It helps me be more like to want to nurture and like in turn nurture myself, be more loving to myself. And like, even we talked about plant medicine last month on our podcast. And the truth is like, when we say plant medicine, people automatically go to like mushrooms or, you know, whatever drug. But the truth is like plant medicine is really nature.
Yeah.
It's so many aspects. It's like, it is nature. It's your diet. It's like, it's all the things.
Right.
Like it's how we relate to our
environment.
Right.
Well, plants are an extension of, you know, the earth. We are an extension of the earth.
Yeah.
And so we're all connected in that way. And like what we put in our body, like what we put in our body, the words we speak to our body, it's all nourishing. We are plants. Surprise, bitches. You know, like we're planted on this earth and then we grow. And like, you know, and then we go back into the ground. And so it's like our relationship with plants as a medicine is really a relationship with like all living things, including ourselves, and like how we nourish ourselves. And like people are like, oh, there's some moms that do mushrooms and LSD. Yes, because I'm in tune with myself, because I'm watering myself, and this is what, you know, the ways in which I need to water myself. This is how like I get more grounded with my environment. And I think people like, you know, like go eat a hearty salad. That might be the medicine that you need. You know, go in the backyard and do it. Sit in the grass.
Right.
But there's like these healing components that come from just being one with nature, and that's whether you're taking mushrooms from the ground or you're sitting in the grass or you're eating that salad all week. You know, so that you're, you know, nourishing your body and our environment. Like we really all are one.
Yeah, and it can be so easy to get so disconnected, especially we spend so much time inside. We spend so much time on devices.
With shoes on.
Right, that something as simple as like putting your feet in the grass or in the sand can be so healing and so nourishing, and it doesn't cost anything. You don't have to do anything. It's just pure connection to earth.
It's like the most simple shit. Like literally being naked in the ocean, being naked outside. Like it sounds ridiculous, but it's really something about like being fully exposed in nature. It's like, it's primal. You're like, I'm an animal. Yes, I am, you know? And it's just like, it seems silly, but like that, like those are the small things that we can do to kind of like just take off the mask and like just stop like giving ourselves the freedom to not suffocate from the constraints of like just corporatehood.
Oh yeah, like what we're supposed to do, who we're supposed to be.
I think that everyone can relate, like to like, you know it. You know that nature, whether water's your thing, forest is your thing, desert is your thing, whatever the fuck it is, that it does something to your nervous system.
Yes.
There's a reason why we're stressed and we want to go on a vacation. We want to get to water. We want to get to this. We got to get, you know, because we are detached from our true nature. And so when we get there, I mean, the other day I woke up, I feel anxious, and I was like, I need to go outside. And I took my shoes off, and it just rained. It was muddy, and it was actually exactly what the fuck I needed. I needed to feel like wet dirt under my feet. And like some people that are like, oh my God, I can't, like, don't like to walk on grass. I encourage you to like get past that. There, you are detached from your true nature. You have to connect back, recharge yourself in the soil. And I immediately felt like my nervous system calm. Like 10%. I was like, okay, the edge got taken off, you know? And like, these are just little tools that you have in your toolbox. Cause like I said, meditation is not something that always works.
Right.
So you got to kind of go, okay, well that was like, that did 10%.
Yeah. What's
What's the other 10%? Okay, I'm going to go stand outside. That's the 10%. Okay, I'm going to go call someone who makes me feel really good. That's so you go down the list of things that eventually get you back to like that happy medium. You're like, okay. But like some people don't even realize that they have a list. Yeah. And everyone does. You do. You have a list. You just have to really think about what those things are for you to get you back into that mindset of like, okay, I'm good. I'm happy. So
that toolkit.
Yeah, it is really a toolkit.
And the older I get, the more I realize the toolkit is the most simple shit ever.
It really is.
Always. It's like breathe,
eat,
go outside,
drink
eat,
water,
go laugh, do a cartwheel,
hug someone.
But literally, there are studies that show that, you know, when shoes became wildly popular and mainstream, that society got further away from like the connection, like our health deteriorated. Like there are literally studies that show like shoes have brought us away from what we need.
Shoes equals depression.
No, it's true.
I believe it.
It's so true. Like Google
shoes
it.
equals depression.
There's even studies of like people connecting like copper. I don't know. Let me not lie on the like microphone, but like connecting some like a cord. I don't know. Maybe I think it's copper. I could be lying. From their feet, like the bottom of their feet, to outside while they're sleeping, and it like curing all these ailments in their body.
Well, there's so much research about grounding, earthing, whatever you want to call it, and about the health benefits of it, because the negative ions that we get from being outside do lower our blood pressure. They relieve anxiety. Like there are countless studies, I can link some in the show notes, that show that it's true. The benefits we get just from having our feet on the earth. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think like what I've learned mostly like is we are all like little gods just roaming the earth. We all have magical components. The earth has magical components. We're extensions of the earth. And so do we. Like, just like we can speak, our like me speaking has like literally sending wavelengths out into the world and to infinity. Who knows where they'll stop. And like, it's just like you speak into a glass of water and the molecules change. We are powerful beings. Yes. And it's like the sooner that we recognize that we have power over the outside, like the better we are, you know? And it's just like you recognizing like the plants have power. The medicine has power. It's just like, I think that's half the battle is recognizing your own power and then emitting it to your outside environment.
Society has normalized our existence. Is really what it comes down to. Society has really normalized our existence because our existence is actually spectacular.
It's so complex.
Absolutely.
It's so complex. Like even to think about like living on Earth, like the things that had to align for us to exist. The amount of H2O, the amount like the amount of oxygen, the amount of like trees, the like even where the altitude in which we live in, the weather, the sun, like the things that the components that had to actually line up for us to exist and thrive are so 1 in a fucking billion. The fact that we're here is like it's magical. And like we are an extension of that magic, and like they did us great. Like they did a hell of a job on us removing our power and like us not recognizing it, because it's literally that simple. You know, like we're master manifestors because we tap the fuck in to our magic, and it's not like something that no one else can do. It's just like do you actually believe it
and follow through with it?
Consistently.
Ugh. That's so good. This was so good, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Les.
Yes. So before we wrap up, I would also just love to talk about next retreat. I know you got one coming up. Let us know where the next one is, how people can go if they want to join you.
Yeah. So our next retreat is in July. So if you're looking for, you know, your summer vacation, this is it, girl.
It's a great summer vacation.
It is. This is the one. And I'm really excited because you came to our one in Costa Rica, but this one is in Mexico. So we're going to Sayulita, Mexico, which is about an hour from Puerto Vallarta.
So
and
beautiful.
Speaking of magic, it's called Pueblo, Mexico.
Yeah,
so beautiful.
The magic Pueblo. And as you know, Les can speak to her experience at the retreat, but it's really it's kind of indescribable. I feel like it's just the perfect group always comes, and you know, a lot of a lot of people always ask us, like, can I come alone? And I would say around 95% of the women that come by themselves.
Yeah.
And that really is the magic of the retreat, is the people and the groups that come for that specific date. and the lessons that each group has for one another. This specific retreat, we have 2 dates. One is on July 5th and the other is on July 12th. And we really like take care of everything for you. Like, you don't have to think about anything, because we know as women and as moms, and the retreat is not just for moms. I just want to say that because everyone always thinks it's for moms. But as women, we're always planning. Like, even when we go on trips, like maybe you're that planner that's like always like, you know, has the whole thing done. We've done it all for you. So all you do is show up. Everything's all inclusive. We took over an entire property, which is what we always do. And this property is exquisite.
It really is.
It's so beautiful. It's every room is ocean view. It's really like, I just can't fucking wait. These retreats are really also retreats for us. And if you are listening to this episode and you heard me talk about like taking that time to be quiet and be still, this is the place. There's no pressure. Like, whatever you want to do it. Whatever you don't want to do, don't.
Yeah.
If you want to party. If you don't. If you want to take mushrooms, take mushrooms.
You can do it, all of the above.
All of the above, you know? So, yeah, that's kind of the vibe of all of our retreats. Kind of like, do whatever the fuck you want.
It's like the ultimate rebranding of you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, go be with a bunch of people you don't know and refigurate. Just make that up. Refigurate who you want to be.
Reconfigure
who you want to be and how you want to show up, and take a break from the noise, and just like go inside yourself in a beautiful place amongst other beautiful women doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And and honestly, like, Erica and I are testaments to manifesting in groups. Couples and groups. And like, as women, you know, our manifesting powers, when we link up and do it collectively, are incredibly, incredibly, incredibly powerful. And, you know, we know that because we're some fucking manifesting ass bitches. But I didn't realize, just like, even when you do it in groups, like, if you come with something, even if it's not a group thing, the energy behind the group is going to just like make that happen so quickly.
And it's really another great tool for women that are trying to find their tribe. You know, I think as adults, it can be really daunting to make new friends. Like, again, the rebranding, like, some of your people maybe aren't your people anymore, or you're tired of your people. You're like, I need a refresh. Yeah. Like, this is really a place for that. So many of the women that come on our retreats are still so close, like taking pictures of their births and, you know, like going to stay with them in different cities, and, you know, like showing up for one another, like sending flowers to each other when they've had a hard time or they're going through a divorce. Like, they're deep bonds. They're not surface bonds. They're real friendships. It's like it's like speed dating for friends, and then you get like real deep real fast.
Yeah. You get
it
real
really
close.
is. You get real deep real fast. You like know all your shit, and it's like fuck the surface shit. Let's get to it. So yeah, I'm really excited for this new experience in Mexico.
Yes. Yes. I'm so excited. We're going to have it linked in the show notes so that folks can join the week that works for them. It's such a beautiful experience. So I'm so excited for this new location.
Thank you for saying yes to us and coming and experiencing it.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. It was exactly what I needed when it was like my birthday gift to myself last year, because I went when it was my birthday and it was like exactly what I needed. So thank you for creating such a beautiful experience.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
I loved having you back. Thank you for kicking off Mindset May with me.
Of course.
Like I said, we will have all of your information in the show notes, links to the retreat, links to the book, also links to the podcast. If y'all aren't listening to Good Moms, Bad Choices, what are you doing?
Come through, baby.
If you like Balanced Black Girl, you'll love Good Moms, Bad Choices. So we'll make sure it's all linked in the show notes. And I will see you back next week for the next installment of Mindset May.
Bye.
Bye.